Tomodachi Life was one of Nintendo's best-selling games on the Nintendo 3DS, selling about 6.66 million copies, which is relatively surprising for a game that wasn't really part of a well-defined series. Its position is well-earned though. It is one of my favorite games on the 3DS, since to me, it's very unique and fun. I love having people I know on my very own island where I can give them items and watch them develop relationships. With this massive success, I believe that a sequel is overdue. We may even get it announced, or have gotten it announced based on when you're watching this video, at Nintendo's E3 presentation on June 15th. I would love to see a second Tomodachi Life game on the Switch, and hopefully with many improvements to give it more replay value, more features, and make it more fun in general. Of course, I have some of my own ideas, which I will be going over in this video. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy Nintendo-related content like this, and join my Discord server to meet other people who love Nintendo games. Now, let's get started with looking at what Tomodachi Life 2 could be like. Tomodachi Life has often been compared to Animal Crossing, but honestly, they are very different games. I would, however, actually like to see Tomodachi Life 2 look a bit more like Animal Crossing than the original. I would love it if we could rearrange the places on the island, change the theme of the island, and change the shape. Just generally make it more customizable. I want my Tomodachi Life island to truly feel like I created it. Going along with this theme of customization, I would love it if Miis could be personalized more as well. The Switch version of Miitopia allows you to customize Miis with face paint and things like that, and I would love to see that in Tomodachi Life. I would also like it if you could set up profiles for your Miis, maybe allowing you to create a profile picture and a bio. When your Mii travels to other islands, players would be able to read these profiles. Finally, the last customization related thing I would love to see in Tomodachi Life 2 is a designer for clothes, hats, and backgrounds. This would allow you to show your own drawings on clothes and hats that your Miis can wear, and the background maker would allow you to drag different images onto the backdrop. This would really help Tomodachi Life 2 feel like a game you create, and it would be cool to be able to share your creations with others and download creations from the internet. Speaking of the internet, more online and multiplayer functionality is a must for me in Tomodachi Life 2. In the original Tomodachi Life, you could connect with your friends, but only to trade items and Miis. In Tomodachi Life 2, maybe there could be mini-games where your Miis compete to earn prizes like money, food, clothing, or items. The original Tomodachi Life allows you to send babies out to travel to other islands, but I think it would be cool if you could send any of your Miis out to other islands. This would be more worth it, since due to the island customization features I mentioned earlier, every island would be unique. The original Tomodachi Life used the 3DS's Street Pass feature to connect with other islands, but since Switch doesn't have something like this really, maybe you could be allowed to visit other islands over the internet to trade items and Miis. Finally, I would like there to be a section where you could look up pretty much any creation. Miis, clothing, hats, backdrops, photos, and songs. You would be able to view and download creations here, and also share your own. To me, all of these features would make your island really feel like a part of a larger world, where millions of different unique islands exist. This was technically in the original game, but it didn't really feel like it. Of course, online isn't the only thing that matters, which is why improvements for your own island in single-player mode are very important for Tomodachi Life 2 as well. The original Tomodachi Life has some mini-games for you to play, but in Tomodachi Life 2, I would like there to be a lot more, since Tomodachi Life can get a bit repetitive. Maybe there could be a trivia game at one of the island locations, and there could be a game center on the island where you would be able to play mini-games with your islanders, and possibly play some demos of NES or SNES games. Of course, these are just some ideas. Nintendo could definitely think of many more for the final release. More island locations are also important. Some ideas I have are a game center, like I mentioned earlier, a sports stadium, and a game shop where you can purchase more minigames. I would also like some locations to take longer to unlock. I know this sounds like a downgrade, but when things are harder to unlock in games, it makes people want to play more. If all of these ideas were implemented, Tomodachi Life 2 would feel like a much more exciting experience than the original, and would encourage tons of replay value. The main part of this game, of course, centers around the Miis who live on your island, and, in my opinion, there are some problems with the current system. It can get extremely repetitive, hearing the same problems over and over, and sometimes it's hard to tell what problem your islander has when you enter their apartment. That's why my first improvement would be replacing the black problem symbols with different symbols for when the islander is hungry, sick, wants items, or anything else. I would also like there to be more problems in general, so the game doesn't feel as repetitive. Some other ways I think Tomodachi Life 2 could be made more interesting would be adding more drama, maybe making it so Miis can have enemies that they get into fights with a lot, and maybe have competitions with each other. Right now, Miis can only live in a single apartment building, or in houses if they are married. So, I think Miis should be able to live in different places. Maybe they can live on the ocean in houseboats, or maybe even crazy locations like in the sky or underground. Islanders in the original game can get jobs, but they don't really mean that much. They just appear when you're shopping sometimes. I think it would be cool if you could give your Miis jobs, where they could earn themselves items, clothes, or things like that. I think all of these features would make Tomodachi Life 2 feel a lot richer and filled with things to do. Finally, I would like to go over a couple small, random things that I would like changed in Tomodachi Life 2 from the original. In the original Tomodachi Life, you have to manually save all the time, or else you will lose all your progress. I get that sometimes you mess up and don't want the game to save, but it would be nice to at least have an autosave feature that you can turn on and off if you want. Another thing is that text and animations can sometimes take a while in the game, so I would like it if there was a way to speed up conversations with Miis. Those are just some of my predictions and hopes for Tomodachi Life 2, but if all those were implemented, Tomodachi Life 2 would be a massive improvement from the original for me, which would be a big accomplishment since the original is already one of my favorite games. I'm really excited for the possibility of Tomodachi Life 2 coming out on the Switch, and I think it has a pretty big possibility of being announced, since Nintendo confirmed they haven't given up on Miis with the release of the Miitopia remake. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe, and also leave your hopes and predictions in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video or live stream. Bye!